Welcome to Too Fond of Books. My name is Janelle and this is a reading roundup. But first, I am very excited because I got book mail. I was totally not expecting anything and then a package came and of course I didn't wait to open it. Of course I didn't. But I thought I would leave it in the bag anyway so that we could have a fun discovery together of the books that I was sent. I was sent 2 lovely books by Miriam. So thank you so much, Miriam. That was so very kind. She sent me An Heir to Murder by Charles Heathcote. I've been really interested in reading this. Charles is a fellow booktuber from the UK, and this is a mystery set in England, and I am all about it. Especially because one of the characters is called Marmaduke, which is fantastic. Marmaduke Featherstone, hello! And then she also sent me this very fun Marigolds and Murder by London Lovett. I've been hearing about this London Lovett series from Rainy at Rainy Day Reads, and so I'm excited to dive into that. I love the covers of these books. They're so fun and summery. So thank you again, Miriam. That was some really exciting book mail. Okay, let's dive into these books. This one isn't going to be a long reading roundup, but that's because there's 3 books here that I absolutely have to take back to the library. So let's just dive right in. First up, we have World Without End by Ken Follett. This is the second book in his Kingsbridge series. And this is also one that I had put on my 5-star predictions video. If you didn't get a chance to see that video, I will link it here in the cards. So I'm not going to talk about this one until I've read the others and I do my 5-star predictions ranking video. And but yeah, I was very excited to read this, and I did it as a buddy read with Carolyn from Carolyn's Reading Ramblings, and she's still reading it, which is totally fine. I blasted through it pretty fast, actually, but you'll have to wait until my 5-star predictions video to hear my thoughts and rankings of that. And then I got from the library, I got The Maid by Nita Prose. This is a book that has been causing a big stir. And I was interested, so I got it from the library. It's written by a Canadian author and it's set in Toronto, so I think that's really cool. And the main character is Molly Gray, who works as a maid at a fancy hotel in Toronto, the Regency Grand Hotel. And she has certain problems connecting with other people. She's not good at reading social cues. Nothing is said in, full out, but, she's probably on the spectrum somewhere. But she's really good at her job, and she really does enjoy her job. And then she discovers a man dead in a room that she's supposed to clean, and the story goes from there. I thought this one was okay, but I didn't love it. There were some choices that the main character makes that I didn't like, but it was an interesting story, and finding out, what was going on at the hotel and what happened to the man who died was interesting enough. So it was a good book, but not great. And then I read The Vanished Days by Susanna Kearsley. This is her brand new book, and I was so excited for this one. This one has connections to The Winter Sea and Firebird. So I was just super excited to get back to that world and maybe see some of those characters again. And Susanna Kearsley, honestly, she never disappoints. One thing that I really loved about this one is that she wrote it slightly differently to the other ones of hers that I've read. Now, I haven't read all of her books, but I've read a few. And most of them have time slips or dual timeline or something like that, where there's a modern day story and then there's a historical story. This one stayed completely in the historical story, which I am totally fine with. I loved that. I think there can be too much of the dual timeline. So I really did love that. And I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved the characters. I loved the story. I loved the way it was told. It's in first person, and you know, you were just getting the information out slowly. Let me tell you briefly what this is about. There are many who believe they know what happened, but they do not know the whole of it. The rumors spread and grow and take their hold, and so to end them, I have been persuaded now to take my pen in hand and tell the story as it should be told. So it is set in the autumn of 1707. We have a young widow, Lily Aitchison, who comes forward to collect her lost husband's wages. Former soldier Adam Williamson is assigned to investigate her petition and the veracity of her claim. And I loved it. Now, here's something that was interesting. I'm trying not to give any spoilers because I just, if you read, I want you to read this and to have the same experience that I did. I'm just going to say this. The ending of this book turned it from a 4-star to a 5-star read. It was fantastic, and so I loved it. Honestly, Susanna Kearsley can do no wrong in my book. All right, and then I read the second one in the Lady Hardcastle series. This is In the Market for Murder by T.E. Kinsey. This is an Edwardian historical mystery, and again, super fun. It's set in 1909, and they live in a village near Bristol in England, and Lady Hardcastle and her maid Flo go with, I've already forgotten her name, Gertie. She's another lady in the village. They go to the market at the nearby town. They go to the cattle market just for the adventure of it. Spencer Carradine, who is a local farmer, he dies in the pub eating his lunch. And so that's the investigation that they get asked to help with. Lady Hardcastle and Flo have some experience from their past lives that make them good investigators. Then there's also some shenanigans happening with the local rugby club that end up playing a role as well. I just love the characters in this series. The banter between Lady Hardcastle and Flo is really, really fun. I really enjoy it. And the mysteries are pretty good too. The mystery in this one was not as great, I don't think, as the first book in the series, but I did still really like it, and I am definitely going to be continuing on with the series. And then I did another buddy read, this time with Donna from Studio in the Library, and we read Stormy Petrol by Mary Stewart. This is one of her later books. She wrote this in 1991, and it's told in the first person by our main character, Dr. Rose Fenimore. She is a professor at Cambridge and a writer herself. And she goes on vacation to an island in the Hebrides in Scotland. She's supposed to go with her brother, who is a doctor, but he gets delayed, so she's there for a while herself. And it happens in June, so it's a nice summer read. And then, so she's alone in this cottage that is like 2 miles from the village. So she's really quite isolated. The cottage itself is fairly simple. It doesn't have a lot of modern conveniences, including a telephone. So she needs a telephone. She needs to walk to the village and use the one at the post office. And one night, 2 separate men end up in her cottage. There's a big rainstorm, and so the first one she hears, because he's actually in the kitchen making tea when she wakes up, and then the second one comes and knocks on the door. And so the whole story is about who are these 2 men. Now, I'm used to, with Mary Stewart, I'm used to romantic suspense, and so I kept expecting that. I kept expecting there to be more suspense or tension or plot, that there was something more than what was going on, and there wasn't. So this isn't my favorite Mary Stewart, but I did still really enjoy it, and I really loved the setting, that it was on an island in the Hebrides, and there was a lot of talk about birds and seals, which was great, and the atmosphere and the the descriptions of what the island was like. I did really enjoy it. I do really like Mary Stewart, and so although this one's not my favorite, I did still really enjoy this story. So there you have it. That's what I have been reading recently. I would love to chat with you in the comment section down below. Have you read any of these books? Are you a Susanna Kearsley fan? And if you are, have you read The Vanished Days yet, or are you still waiting for it? I had to wait for it for a long time from the library. So yeah, let's chat, and I will be back with another video soon. Bye.